How do you continue to grow yourself as a leader? That's a question every effective leader asks. Here's the truth. No one is a natural born leader. All leadership is learned. Unless you consciously and consistently develop yourself as a leader, your team will struggle and you will struggle watching them struggle. I'm going to outline today 3 ways that you can continue to grow yourself as a leader. We get deeper into how to lead your team and scale your business in my Move the Needle Challenge. This is something I want all leaders to kind of hone in on though. When you learn to effectively role model the behavior you want to see in others, guess what? It becomes a hell of a lot easier to grow your team and scale your business. I included the link below for that challenge where you can get in, where we just kind of dive in and get into the nitty-gritty of embracing change, focusing both yours and your team's efforts to accelerate results. If you're interested, check out the link in the description. So how do leaders like you, like me, how do we continue to grow ourselves? For starters, I want to recommend that you evaluate 3 areas and look for ways within those 3 areas to up your leadership game. So what are those 3 areas? Right? Great question. All right. The first area is your skills. As leaders, we have to constantly evaluate our own skills. Let me unpack this further. The first skill every leader needs to master is the skill of being organized. I meet so many leaders who are not very organized. And when you talk to them further, I'm not surprised to find out that their team and their business isn't performing the way they want. Conversely, when I talk to high performers, and trust me, I am surrounded by many extremely successful leaders every single day, and they all have one thing in common. They're organized. They're relentlessly focused, and as a result, so are their teams. Evaluate your organizational skills and reach out if you want some help on this. This is like one of my superpowers. I love this. The other major skill a leader needs to master is their job. Sounds funny, right? It's not. See, so much is changing right now, and many leaders are doing jobs they never envisioned. Many leaders and businesses have had to pivot given the recent pandemic. Some are in new positions. Whatever position you find yourself in, master it. See, years ago, I joined an IT staffing firm as their COO, right? And while I had years and years of leadership experience, at the time, I never worked in an IT staffing firm before. My goal that year was to master the business. The same is true for you. You have to master the business. The other skill every leader, and I mean every leader must master, is the skill of communication. Regardless of your level and regardless of your years of experience, every leader should reevaluate their communication style and look for ways to improve it. How can you become more articulate? How can you become more concise? Simplify your message, communicate more often. The list is endless. Having a communication goal should be the top and center for every leader at the beginning of every year. The second area for continued leadership growth I want to highlight for you is your brand. What is your personal brand? And how can you elevate it to yet another level? When you think of your brand, I want you to consider first and foremost how easy it is for others to work with you, right? Are you flexible? Do others love being around you, or do they turn the other way when they see you coming, right? Besides ease of working together, the other aspect of your personal branding is your thought leadership. Do you have a voice? If so, are you using it to provide value? Ask anyone who's ever participated in any of my coaching programs, right? And they will all tell you, right, they're the same thing, that I'm always talking about having a voice. Ask anyone on my team, right? In fact, if you don't have a voice, if you're not providing thought leadership, you're probably not even on my team. That's how important I believe thought leadership is to your personal brand. It's a showstopper for me. The last aspect of your brand that is super important is, do you do what you commit to doing? Do you do what you say you're going to do in the time frame that you say that you commit to? If yes, right? If you do, you build your brand. If you don't, you destroy your brand, and quickly. The third area for continued leadership growth is scale. Scale comes down to people, process, and technology. Let's unpack people just a little bit further. When you think of scaling in terms of people, first consider your team. The only way to extend your reach and touch more things as a leader is to build a team of people around you. Every great leader is surrounded by a great team. Who's on your team? How can you up-level your team skills this year? The other aspect of people is your allies. I know a lot of great leaders who have built a great team, but have absolutely zero political capital across the organization and with partners outside the organization. In order to scale, every leader needs to up-level their team skills, and they need to build allies across the organization and outside the organization. Having allies will allow you to get things done quicker. The other aspect of scale is process and technology. What processes can be updated this year? Resist the temptation to judge them as right or wrong, good or bad. It's been my experience that most processes are really effective at the time they were created. The challenge is that business changes, and so must the processes to support that business. If you or your team find yourself doing the same thing over and over again, that begs the question for, hey, can we build a repeatable process, or can we leverage technology to automate and support that process? Skills, brand, and scale should always be 3 continued growth areas for every leader. Committing to continued growth is everything. It's how you grow, it's how your team grows, and it's how your business scales. Before you move on to something else, go get access to my Move the Needle Challenge. The link is in the description. If appropriate, share it with others on your team. I go deeper during this challenge to help you embrace change, focus your efforts, and move the needle on what's important. Okay, if you liked what I shared today, right? If you got some value out of it, right? Do me a favor, give it a like, share a comment related to your business, and of course, subscribe, because each week I'm sharing content that will help you lead your team and scale your business. We'll talk to you soon.